Gemini full moon on December 7th of 2022, aka the last full moon of the year. Guys, this one is going to be huge because it's really going to help you close up 2022 in such a big way. And in this video, I'm going to share with you all the 5 things that you need to know about this specific full moon and why it's going to be the most important full moon that's going to help you guide into the new year. So if you guys are interested in that, oh my gosh guys, keep on watching. There's so much for me to share with you. And if you guys are new here, my name is Tina Wong, and on Awaken with Tina we share information about the energy readings, the energy forecast, but also the channel messages to help you move into the best version of you. So like the video, share it with someone, and of course subscribe to the channel if you are liking the vibe. So before we get into the theme number 1 that is going to be for this full moon, I want to invite you to join our masterclass, actually the last masterclass of the year, and it's going to be a free one. So this masterclass is going to be called Unapologetically Me. Now, this masterclass is to help guide you into moving into the most unapologetic, the most authentic version of you. So when it comes to the new year, you get exactly who you're meant to be, and you attract exactly what you're here to attract. So it's going to be a really, really fiery, powerful one. Grab your free ticket in the description below, and I can't wait to see you. Feel free to DM me on Instagram at Awaken with Tina. Comment down below. I'm in, so I can celebrate with you. So with that guys, I'm gonna get right into theme number 1. So theme number 1 is all about understanding that this full moon is about the sign of Gemini. So what does that really mean for you? The sign of Gemini, you have to understand that this is a very interesting sign. This is an air sign. So when we think about air, we want to think about this is like an element of communication, intelligence, and also there's like a flowy, like air aspect to it. So what does that mean? It means that there is a lot of adaptability, and I want to talk more about that on theme number 3. But for this one, I want you to understand that this is the sign where there's so many hidden treasures. There's a lot of hidden treasures about you, about who you are becoming. So when you're working with this full moon, and by the way, full moon is the energy of harnessing the manifestation, really allowing the power of manifestation to come to fruition. So it's kind of like, when you think about new moon, you are putting your intentions out into the universe, but full moon is like you're reaping those rewards. So allowing yourself to receive and also release anything that is no longer you. So this Gemini full moon in particular is really important for you to move into the new year. And the reason being is that there's a lot of releasing energy about the different aspects of who you are not. So what this really means is understanding that you are multifaceted and you have so many beautiful different sides to you, but sometimes we take on these roles, these different masks and characters that are not us. So for instance, have you been playing into the yes man role? Have you been playing into the good girl, good boy role, but in your heart you're a badass, you're a rebel, you're a visionary, but for some reason you've been playing the follower role, for instance. So really feel into which roles that you are playing and which mask that you are wearing that is not really you, because Gemini is the sign of the twins, right? And the sign of the twin is there's different sides or different faces, right, to the person. Of course, we have so many different faces, and Gemini is a beautiful sign to remind us that we're not just one thing. When someone asks you like, hey, what do? You're not gonna be like, hey, I'm a nurse. Are you only a nurse, right? Are you also this and this and this, right? And all of these are pretty much labels, but they're so limited to who you are. So this is really allowing you to go beyond who you are, to fully express yourself beyond the labels, and also close off these labels that are not in resonance. So that's why I'm going to be doing the Unapologetically Me masterclass on the 12/12, which is December 12th portal, the 12/12 portal, that's going to allow you to really unleash that energy of like, this is who I am, and I'm unapologetically going to express myself about it. So I can't wait to see you there. I'm super excited. I'm really pumped for this. And this is really that energy. So when we're talking about the theme number 2, and the theme number 2 is all about knowing that this is the last full moon. And the last full moon energy is about, this is your last push to close things off. As I mentioned, full moon is about closing things off, tucking things away, allowing things to just dissolve where there's no energies needed. So really utilize this energy, December 7th, 3 days before, 3 days after. I will be making a meditation shortly, so check back on the channel. Maybe it's up already. So understanding that this is the energy where you really want to work on releasing. You want to work on letting go. Letting go of the versions of you, letting go of the things that you've been holding on to, playing out, wasting your time on pretty much, because this is a really good time for you to reflect on what roles have you been playing, which mask have you been wearing, and who have you been being that is not in resonance with your highest, most authentic and true self. So allow yourself to really feel into that energy and really release that. And a beautiful way for you to release is to really claim that this is not me anymore. I choose to be this instead, right? I choose to no longer be available for XYZ. So these are some really beautiful journal prompts, affirmations that you can work with. In fact, share with me down below in the comments what are something that you are no longer available for. For me, for instance, I am no longer available for stress. I am no longer available for scarcity mindset, right? So there are some things that you can really go deep in, and when you declare it, you give the power to your power instead of you're giving the power away. So let me know in the comments below. Number 3. So let's talk about the theme number 3 of this last full moon in the sign of Gemini. This is really interesting because this is about change, adaptability, and choosing. Or not choosing. So what this really means is that the energy of this Gemini full moon allows you to open up to all of you, who you are not, as we mentioned. But this is also the sign that is changing, that is focusing on that I can change, I am allowed to change, I am allowed to change my mind, I am allowed to be who I am at any given moment. And maybe in this moment I'm feeling wearing something cozy. Maybe next moment I'm feel like wearing something, I don't know, maybe sporty, right? So allow yourself to change as the weather change, as your mind changes, as your heart changes. Because the thing is, a lot of us in society, we've been playing into this role, have been buying this concept that we are fixed individuals. We can change. We have a fixed personality. We have a fixed preference. Do we now? Right? Do we? Are we really the same person as we were when we were 7? Right? Do we still like the same guys? Okay, do we still like the same type of girls? Maybe you thought you liked the bad boys, the bad girls, and when you were in high school, and now you're like, okay, no, I want a good man, right? I want a good woman, right? So things change. So this is really that energy of reminding yourself that, my gosh, I have changed, and I am changing, and it's okay for me to change. I want you guys to comment this below or write it in your journal. I am allowed to change. I am ever changing. I am ever expanding. So these are some beautiful affirmations that you can work with and work through, because this is the energy of knowing that you don't have to choose. Choosing, this is only me, it's going to feel like you're neglecting this side, then that is not going to feel good. So for me, for example, for the longest time, if you guys follow me on my Instagram at Awaken with Tina, where I share more personal, vulnerable stuff, and I also share more about kind of my day-to-day downloads and channeling and messages. So if you guys are not a part of the Instagram fam, my gosh, come join us at Awaken with Tina. We have so much fun. We get more intimate. So this is the energy of when I was growing up, I was really struggling with the energy of who am I have these two sides, and it's still, to be honest with you, to this day, it's still something that sometimes it really gets me. Is these two sides, the one side is that I really wanted to go out there, make a difference, share my messages, do the things. And then there's the other side of me where I just want to retreat in a mountain. I just want to screw technology, screw everything. I just really want to meditate all day, be like a monk, be like a nun in the mountain, and grow my own food and have my little house. That is really appealing to me also. So I have these two sides that sometimes it's kind of in battle with each other, and sometimes I'm like, I want to do this, and it's like, oh no, but I don't want to do that, right? And a lot of that always comes back down to these are two very important aspects of me: my peace, my quietness, the time for me to tune in, to connect with self, with source, to create is important for me as much as going out there, sharing the messages, helping people, seeing how people light up, seeing how people's lives get to transform. When I work with my clients, when I work with people in my private containers, when I work with my members in Rise, I feel so lit up. I feel so lit up because this is my calling. This is my purpose. There's no denying that. So these are the two sides of me that sometimes it's like I'm really like this, and sometimes I'm just very quiet and reserved. So I want you guys to feel into what are the sides of you. But if you think that they are conflicting, maybe they're not. Maybe they're just a part of you that you just need to accept. You just need to accept that sometimes you want time to be quiet, but then also you want time to just really put your work out there, do good for the world, and be more active, maybe in your business, maybe in your career, maybe in helping society. And it's okay. It's okay if there are moments where you feel like you don't want to do anything. There are moments that you feel like you want to do everything. So this is really radical self-acceptance. So Gemini really helps us to navigate through that we are all different, multiple, faceted, and we have to honor that. Number four is this beautiful energy of really closing off any loose ends, because we are reaching at the end of the year, and we are also working with that energy of this is being the last full moon. So what this really means for you is that really think about it as your last vacuum. Okay, I don't know why, but I think I need to vacuum the house today, so I'm thinking about this example. But really think about you're vacuuming up all the dust, you're vacuuming up all the dirt, because this is really that last one before your guests come through for your Christmas party, right? For your New Year party, and really allowing yourself to know that there are dust laying around, there are things laying around. I feel like I'm talking about my house right now, but there are some things that need to be cleaned, and you know what it is. It can be a limiting belief. Maybe it's something that you've been holding on to. Maybe you've been holding on to this friendship that you know that is kind of done. Maybe this relationship, maybe this ex will come back to you, but then you're like, I don't know if I want them to even come back. Let go of that. So really clean up any leakages in your energy. And I talked about a lot of this in my private work with my clients, of cleaning up the energy leakages. Because what you don't realize is that the dust, the leakages are laying around, but they're consuming your energy. When things are being open, your energies flow there. That's why you can't focus. That's why you can't concentrate. That's why you feel like, your thoughts are going everywhere. You have those moments, right? When your thoughts are going different direction, it's because you haven't closed it off. You haven't finished that thing. You haven't, completed that task, haven't checked that mark. So really take the day to really complete all of this. If you needed to call your mom 2 weeks ago, honestly, put on your calendar, get that done, close off that loose end. If you needed to have a deep conversation with your best friend about, why you're not friends anymore, and you feel like you're tracking on this conversation, honestly, put it on a day. Write her a letter, write him a letter, whatever. Get it out of the way. Close that loop, whatever it is, so that your energy can be focusing on becoming the best version of you. And number five is actually a really beautiful challenge for you. And, we love challenges over there. So here, so challenges about understanding that you have to honor that new things are coming and new things are flowing all the time. So if we're in the mindset of, rigidity, and we're in the mindset of like,
things are not gonna look up for me. I can maybe hope and pray and manifest, but actually in my mind, I don't really believe that things can change.
right? Have you ever felt into that before? Where like, I really wish that I could have like another 10K in my bank account every single month, right? Like you kind of like wish for these things, right? Or manifest, you want to manifest these things, but actually in your mind, you actually don't believe it. And if you were to be really honest, you know that at certain times there might be some of those thoughts creeping up, right? And it's this whole game of leveling up is all about honoring that there are parts of you that maybe sometimes you're not willing to admit, right? It's really being honest with yourself. You don't have to be honest with, you have to go out there, put your business out in the world, but it's about honoring what you know that you need to admit to yourself so that you can take radical self ownership so that you can move forward and you can crush that thing and be like the boss CEO that you are. So really challenge yourself to see what are some things that you are kind of rigid on, what are some things that your head is like not believing, but then your mouth is like, yeah, I am rich, I am abundant, right? I attract love effortlessly. You do these affirmations, but then you actually don't believe it. So the challenge here for you is to really clean that up by first being aware and really admitting that, okay, I have kind of some limiting beliefs around it, but I'm going to work through them. And because I know that they're there, right? It's better to admit than to not. And this is the energy that you want to go back into, understanding that this is you have many different sides to you, and you can change, you can grow, you can allow things to flow as easily as welcoming new things in your life. So just by being aware of your blockages, it will help you to release them so much better. So if you guys want to dive more into this and me to guide you along the way, I would really suggest that you grab your free ticket in the description box for our free masterclass, our last one of the year, guys. I don't know when I want to have another free masterclass, so really take advantage of this one. And I know this one's going to be super fire and exactly what you need if you are looking for a real change in your year next year. Ticket is down below. Free spot is available for those of you who grab it fast. I love you so much. If you guys haven't seen the December energy reading where I talked about the 5 important portals, check it out. You'll get more information on this. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.